These are moments when the atmosphere of a peaceful neighborhood descends into chaos, and a normal confrontation with the police escalates into a fatal gunfight.
Put your hands up! Hands up!
For starters, let's look at the case of Joseph. He spent the early morning of Thanksgiving Day firing his machine gun at his neighbors.
What the f, dude? Is that a machine gun?
In the early morning of Thanksgiving Day, Joseph, a military veteran suffering from mental illness, took out his machine gun and fired indiscriminately at his neighbors, putting their lives at risk. The police forces arrived at the scene to handle the situation, but before they could start negotiating with the man, they decided to get the neighbors out of harm's way and ensure their safety.
Sheriff's office. Hello, how are you? Come on, come on in the house. Is it just you inside the house? Yeah, I got it. Come on.
Once that was done, the negotiator started doing his job. He tried to reason with Joseph and tell him that there are more peaceful ways to deal with mental health issues than firing a machine gun.
And you can solve a lot of stuff that's going on by just talking to somebody that you don't know and doesn't have any judgments on you. Okay? I'm not judging you. Okay? Because I don't know you. You haven't told me anything. Come on, stop shooting.
However, Joseph kept shooting and shooting. Eventually, the cops decided that it was no use talking to him. Therefore, a SWAT team was brought in. They gunned Joseph down with a sniper and put an end to his threat after he fired 200 bullets at the neighbors, police vehicles, and negotiators. This case ended up with a shot from the sniper. The next case ended in a similar manner, but for the officers involved, it was like riding a roller coaster without a safety belt.
He's down, but I can't see him.
On September 20th, 2021, officers from the Houston Police Department were tasked with arresting a drug dealer named Dion Ledette at his home. There was no reply. It seemed like nobody was home. However, the officers did not know that this was about to get ugly and escalate into a deadly shootout. Dion knew he got into trouble after the officers showed up at his doorstep. Instead of turning himself in, he opened fire. He made his situation worse than it already was by killing one officer and injuring another. Eventually, the officers gunned Dion down and rid the world of his threat. A similar situation happened in Pune, where the officers chased a suspect into the woods and ordered him to surrender. But the runaway man did not comply and opened fire, and it wasn't quite pleasant when the police fired back.
Put your hands up! Hands up!
September 22nd, 2023, a domestic argument took place between two brothers, and it escalated when one of the brothers pulled out his gun. This was reported to the police soon after, but the man with the gun got away from the scene on foot. However, the police tracked down the man the day after and found him hiding in a safe house near the woods. They ordered him to step out and surrender, but the man improvised and ventured to do something else.
We got you surrounded.
Peace. Running.
Coming towards the back.
Coming towards 27.
The man ran off into the woods and a chase ensued afterward. He tried to hide in the bushes and make himself unseen, but it didn't take long for the officers to find him. They ordered him to surrender peacefully and call it a day, but the man insisted on putting up a fight.
Put your hands up! Hands up! He's got his gun! He's still got the gun!
Eventually, the officers managed to take the man down and injure him. They did their best to keep the man alive, but his injury was too fatal to be treated by first aid kit. He died at the scene soon after. While this case is violent, the next one is similar but a bit fiery.
Come on, see! Get the kids!
On June 24th, 2024, officers responded to a report of domestic disturbance and came to the given address. They knocked on the door, but there was no answer, giving them no choice but to force their way in.
2-2 entry game around the front.
Police officer with a taser!
Show yourself now!
Down!
There's a fire.
Once inside, the officers found the house a mess. They also heard a woman screaming for help upstairs. Toys and furniture were blocking the officers' way upstairs, but they easily made their way in. Before the officers could get to the woman, they found the mattresses in the children's bedrooms on fire.
Police.
This needs out the window, James.
Thanks to the bravery of this officer, he dealt with the situation smoothly and ordered his fellow officers to get the burning items out of the house. He also did his best to put out the fire.
Hey, it's too far gone.
One officer made his way to the master bedroom where the suspect, named Kyle Butler, was holding his ex-wife hostage, while the two terrified kids were helplessly watching. The officer tried to negotiate with Kyle and get him to see reason, but to no avail, as Kyle threatened to kill his ex-wife. A scuffle ensued afterward, but thankfully, 3 more officers entered the room. They managed to stop Kyle and free the woman from his grip. One of the officers and the woman suffered from a stab wound in the scuffle, but everybody survived and the day was saved.
Get him out! Get him out! Get out of the floor! Can't see! Get the kids!
Kyle got hauled out of the house. He was arrested and sentenced to life in prison on the charge of attempted murder. A similar case took place prior to this one, but it wasn't just the mattress that was on fire this time, as the suspect named Everton Brown decided to take it up a notch.
We just had a house blow up, and the house next to it is on fire. Oh,
on May 8, 2021, multiple 911 calls came in from one of Everton's neighbors at 6:39 a.m., reporting a disturbance.
Where something is going on. It jarred me out of bed. Somebody banging in somebody's front door, and then I just heard 3 gunshots. Because I hear somebody screaming now.
The neighbors soon identified the man causing the noise, and it was none other than Everton.
There's a house where the man has signs all over his house that the FBI is after me, and we've known for years that he has a mental health problem.
Okay, yeah, we got the fire department helping the way, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Shots. More gunshots. Sounds like he's just shooting up the block.
This call came in after Everton forced his way into his neighbor's home, where he shot and fatally stabbed the man of that house. However, at the time, the caller was not aware of what was going on inside the neighbor's home, but she was scared for her life after hearing the gunshots. Normally, in such stressful situations, the 911 operator would give the caller something to do to help them forget about their stress. This is precisely what the operator did, but the situation grew more chaotic that it added more to the caller's stress.
We just had a house blow up, and the house next to it is on fire. It's on
a house exploded?
Yes.
This is when Everton blew up his own house. He was reportedly paranoid that the FBI and his neighbors were going to break in and search it.
All right, take a deep breath for me, okay?
Oh my gosh, all we heard was pop, and then the house blew up.
Okay.
Oh my God.
However, the situation got bloodier soon after that. No amount of deep breaths would have been enough to calm down the distraught caller.
Yes. And there's a victim on the ground. We've got a victim on the ground shot.
Okay.
Move. We got a victim on the ground.
Okay.
A female, and she's got blood all in front of her.
Okay. Is she breathing?
I don't know. She's just lying on the ground.
Okay.
She doesn't look like she's moving. She's not moving. She's not moving.
Okay. We got help. We got a lot of help coming to you, okay?
This was when the mentally troubled Everton shot the wife of the neighbor he had just fatally stabbed. She ran out of the house to escape his madness, but Everton shot her in front of everybody. However, this was only the beginning of Everton's madness that knew no bounds.
There's a man over here. People. We got gunfire. We got gunfire. With the guy who's living in the house.
Miss, I need you to get to safety right now.
We're in the house.
Miss, I need you to get in the house, close the door, and duck below the windows.
At this point, Everton shot 2 more neighbors. One was killed and the other was injured. Before Everton could cause more damage, the police arrived at the scene. They told Everton to put his gun down, but there was no way of talking some sense into Everton at this point. He refused to comply, leading up to a deadly shootout with the guys in blue.
Red truck! 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 Red truck!
And the guys in blue did not disappoint. They responded to their call of duty and took down Everton to restore order to the neighborhood. In the aftermath, the cops found the gun that started this whole mess. They also found a knife in addition to some homemade explosives. As it turned out, Everton's repressed paranoia kept building up for years until he lost it and blew up his house. The fire that he caused utterly destroyed 2 houses and damaged a 3rd. According to a longtime resident in the neighborhood, the way Everton acted was expected. He was paranoid and had been threatening his neighbors for a long time, something they had been complaining about for years. However, the complaints were not addressed. What's more, Everton's social media accounts best demonstrated his paranoia. Some of his posts show that he feared the FBI was onto him. But who is to blame for this incident? And do you think it could have been prevented? Don't forget to subscribe for more mystery cases here on CrimeVine.